Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good early morning, good late evening, depending on where in the world you are. My name is JT, and I have thrown up a few videos explaining some real world stuff that you can see, hear, touch, taste, feel. What I haven't shared yet is my testimony. My testimony of an experience that I had like no other. I remember I looked around. I searched YouTube. I searched everywhere trying to see if I could find someone who had a similar experience. People had experiences, but none of them like the story or the experience that I'm going to share with you. Well, before I get started, first I want to give praise to the glorious Heavenly Father, for through Him, Jesus Christ, all things are possible, and none of us would be here without Him. Remember back in 2014, when my eyes were first opened to what was going on in Washington, around the world, and in my neighborhood, right around me. I mean, several things going on simultaneously. Some you know about, some you don't. But it was around then that I had an experience. But before I talk about that experience, I'll talk about the first experience. This is a true story. And if you were to catch my Facebook page, I put it on Facebook, but I'm not ready to give out that information right now. But later on I will, and you'll see that if you were to go back and check the date material, you'll see that this story is the same, word for word. And I don't have to make anything up or try to have to remember any type of stories made up, because this is a true story. Thanks. Okay. It's a true story. I was in my 20s. It's in the 90s. I met a man in the bus stop. And this man was the same complexion as me. Hair like mine, except he had maybe an afro. He wore glasses. Like I did mention, we were the same complexion. And we were just having a basic conversation. I mean, we were talking about, just shooting the breeze, I guess. We were talking about something like belt buckles. And then the bus came. I got on the bus. He got on the bus with me. And we didn't sit together in the same seat. He was maybe about 3 or 4 seats ahead of me, in front of me. But I remember when I reached up to grab the stop, to pull down the handle to let them know that I want to get off the bus. He reached up almost at the same time. And we got off the bus and we were at the next bus stop. And we were conversing. We were conversing again. And then when the next bus came, same thing happened. We got on the bus again. And I remember this time I was on the bus. I was actually on the Lee Road bus in Cleveland, the bus number 40. And I'm trying to remember where I was headed that day. I don't quite remember. But I remember I was on the Lee Road bus when this was the second bus we were on. And I was sitting in the seat and I was thinking about something. not even sure what it was I was thinking about. And this is the very reason why I haven't damned the Heavenly Father since that day. Because a lot of people just take his name in vain and just damn him. And they just think that it's okay. But remember, I didn't say these words out loud. I was thinking them. And I remember I fought those two words. And I haven't said them and I won't say them. GD. That's as close as you'll get from me, and I'll never go there again. Most likely. But, he hates that. This man turned around and looked at me with anger and disgust. And a chill just went right through my body. And now I am scared. And I'm thinking, but at the same time trying to communicate. And what I'm thinking is, I'm asking this man, can you hear my thoughts? He didn't answer. However, we got off the Lee Road bus. And we went off of Lee Road in Chagrin. And there was a church. I believe there used to be a church over there. A church somewhere. Because I think at that time we got on 14. And I remember a church being somewhere. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was. There was a church somewhere around there. But this time when I was in the bus stop, he didn't come anywhere near me. He went and stayed by the church. And he knelt down and he waited. And here I am, completely shook up. Wow. But he stayed right there with me. Because when the next bus came, he came and he got on the bus with me. And it was the same thing. He sat a few seats ahead of me. And now I'm rapping, thinking, trying to figure out what just happened. I was still scared. This time when I got off the bus, he didn't get off the bus with me. And I remember, I didn't think about it at that time, but there was a song going around that said, what if God was one of us, just a stranger on the bus? I felt like I experienced it. And I haven't damned him since that day. Well, that was in the 90s. And then, like I said, in 2014, when I was made aware of certain things that were going on in my neighborhood, I saw him again. Guess where? At a bus stop. No, I'm sorry. Yep. I was at a bus stop. Actually, I was coming from, by this time I had moved up on Euclid. And I was getting ready to get on the bus. I was on my way to work. And I guess I could say my new, should I say, potential girlfriends were in the process of breaking me in. And I saw him. I don't know if anybody else saw him but me. But there he was. He wasn't a spirit. At least he didn't look like a spirit. Looked like a flesh, just like me, you. Just like that. What was he doing? Well, I don't want to share too much because I have to leave something out so that I know when someone approaches me. Only they will know these certain things. So that's why I don't tell everything. I have to be able to discern who's who and what's what. Because I've had spiritual experiences like that. I've had an experience where they talk about these green or gray aliens. I'm not going to mention that right now. Maybe a little too much for you to handle. But yeah, I had an experience like that back in 1997. Actually, that was on the day and at the exact same time that Biggie Small got killed. Yes, he was in LA and I was here in Cleveland, and I experienced that almost simultaneously. So I know what time it happened. 12:30 a.m. LA time, 3:30 a.m. Cleveland, Ohio time. That's when I experienced it. Sunday, March 7th or 27th, 1997. Which day was it? Oh, it was one of those 7 days. One of those 7th days. But yes, that's my experience. For a long time, I kept that experience to me because I felt it was personal and it was sanctified, or should I say, something private. But then, after I had a stroke, I was in a position where I couldn't move and I couldn't do anything, and I had to depend on people to help me. So I started sharing the story ever since then. I didn't share it before because I knew nobody would believe it. Matter of fact, I think I did share it a couple times back then. Not my story when I met the man on the bus. The story of when I had the vision with the gray. Actually, I'm thinking it was the gray, but this thing looked grayish green, greenish gray. Like I said, I'm not going to get into that right now. But when I shared that story with somebody told me maybe that thinks that there's something that you're doing that you need to change. And that's when I got out of the streets and I decided to get back into school. And I moved away from the ghetto and then into the outer neighborhood, and I learned to work, and I just began to do what I had to do to integrate into the system because I felt that that's where I was supposed to go. But then when this thing happened, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. Nothing's ever really explained to me. I'm guessing that means that it's because we're given brains and we're given the opportunity to learn, research, and discern. The Bible, science, and everything. But always, never forget to put God first. This is why I do what I do. So I just wanted to share that with you. And like I said, I'll be bringing these stories as I feel that I'm ready to tell them, and if I think that you're ready to hear them. Well, thank y'all. Have a good one, and God bless.